actually leads me to my next, question that I have for y'all. Is that what do y'all think Indian educational institutions could do to improve, and help people on an entrepreneurship journey?
I think they should have better canteens so that we don't get diarrhea often. The cows in our campus refuse to eat our food, and we used to eat
Not just food,
surprisingly mixed veg every Thursday, which had lentils from the last 4 days. So we all know what mixed veg means.
And the cows did not only just eat food, they also came into the rooms and ate books.
Yeah, true.
Is that what y'all told your professors?
There are videos of cows coming in,
We
attending
have
lectures.
two chaps sleeping on their beds, and there's a cow in between eating the books kept in front of them, and they are sleeping. So yeah,
How
we have videos of that.
exhausted must they have been?
Oh, it was crazy.
There are cows eating books between them.
So
And they didn't
we
wake
like
up.
to joke that IIT and cows also want education. They want to do better in life. But having said that, all jokes apart, I think what IIT academics trains you is, again, like just to be good at the subject that you have chosen. It's very academic.
True.
In the real world scenario, I have worked as a chemical engineer for 7 years. After that, I switched to managerial roles. But for the 7 years that I worked as a chemical engineer, you realize that a lot of smaller details that you focused on during your IIT exams don't really matter in the practical world. You need to work with several operating conditions that are probably going to go against you, probably showing you a middle finger randomly. Everything works and randomly something just messes up. So I think from that point of view, academically, whatever you're doing, just make it slightly more practical. And B, I think you also need to understand that students are going to flourish in multiple ways. So give them an opportunity to flourish in those multiple ways. Just textbook knowledge and coming to classes. Having said that, this is just academic curriculum. We learn all these other things by ourselves with all the clubs.
Because the students that we have, the student bodies,
clubs, the activities that happens. And also having said that, these are funded by our college.
Yeah.
So it is at the end of the day funded, yes, of course, but there needs to be a drastic change in how you teach the curriculum you have, and especially how you treat students. I think the treatment of students is not nice.
Yeah? Why would you say the treatment of students is not nice?
Bad.
Yeah. I'll go to a limb here and say that a lot of professors in campuses, there are many great professors. So I'll appreciate those. The most supportive guys, professors I've met are there, but then the worst are also there. And I'll go to a limb here and say that the mindset inside the IIT's professors is that they came from a background of being academically in top of their batches, going for masters and going for PhDs. They come from a very heavy academic background. And what we have felt as students is that the curriculum becomes too heavily academically focused. Research oriented, exactly. So
it's research oriented in their field of
exactly. And
right? It's heavily biased to what research they are doing.
Yeah.
And there are many professors who get visibly uncomfortable and have outrightly called it out when they see students pursuing other things because they want them to pursue research. Yeah, and we don't want to. Statistically, almost 80% of my batch is not doing chemical engineering. But the professors would get uncomfortable seeing students doing other things. I mean, look at the statistics. So that's one thing which definitely should change. I totally agree. The academic inclination should adapt to what the students really need today. Even for the 20% who are going into core, they should know what they really need and cater to the curriculum accordingly. If there's someone
I went into core believing that I was going to be an extremely horrible chemical engineer, realizing that I was not. I was actually quite good at it. I was quite good at my field, and my grades said otherwise, and I was like, what? That's why I ended up doing it for 7 years, because I was actually really good at it. And I was made to believe for all the 4 years that I was in IIT, I was made to believe not even average. I was horrible at it. The way people used to look at me was like,
But one amazing initiative which another college from India has brought in is the startup program by BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani has started promoting a 1 year, call it a break or a sabbatical from their academic pursuit, so that people can pursue any entrepreneurial journey that they want to do that, and they would even help them with, let's say, office space kind of, register their companies in the address of the college and so on. So that is an amazing
We need more
initiative.
independent thinking.
True.
I think that's where the entire crux of the material lies. Independent thinkers, if you're not creating, who are you creating then? IIT as a brand, if you want to separate yourselves from the rest of the group, it has to be through big thinkers, independent creators. If we talk about Silicon Valley, if we talk about Ivy Leagues, if they are creating founders that are more successful, IIT of course has founders that are successful, but if we balance both of them out, we always have that thing that holds us back, right? That you are breaking some, shattering some glass ceiling or breaking some barriers or doing something out of the normal. This should change.
True.
It should become that you are doing something regular. It should become that you are doing something normal. It takes out your stress and then it makes you more comfortable to do this with your full heart.
And I mean, I think entrepreneurship is such a risky decision anyways, that if you don't have an ecosystem which supports you, it becomes that much harder. I remember when I used to walk into Columbia, there was a board on the left which had a sign, and all it said is, last year, Columbia founded startups, raised over $100 and something billion. And just that one poster gave everybody who walked by the sense that this college takes pride in their entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Right? And not only when they come back and donate a lot of money, but they take pride in all the entrepreneurs, including the ones who may have failed. And I think that is a perspective shift.
I think failure rate in entrepreneurship is much higher than in any other exams or anything like that. Like if
you should also be appreciated.
Yes. Like we know the stories of startups that have thrived, but there have been graveyards of startups that have died.
But one more thing is true, that institutes like IITs and top colleges in India do provide some ecosystem. We have Sign, which is a whole body setup and a whole office space setup for IIT incubated startups to run. Right? And we have a lot of institute funds, we have a lot of alumni funds and so on. But I have zero perspective on how the CA, CFA world operates for this kind of incubation.
So I am not very well averse with such incubations, but you have your ecosystems. Like if you need any professional help regarding, you can reach out to any chartered accountant if you know them. It's via you can build connection.
But when you're trying to build a startup, there are a lot of variables that come in, and most colleges have these couple of standard incubations that they do. For example, most colleges have this ESL event which happens, which is an entrepreneurship event. Most colleges have some sort of either alumni fund or a college fund that helps startups.
When you're saying most colleges, do you mean most elite colleges?
I'm sorry, yes. I mean most elite colleges. And
you really made him check his privilege there.
Again offended 20 lakh.
So yes, all of these come kind of inbuilt for us, and we sometimes take it for granted, but they are amazing. I don't know, CA, despite being such a prestigious journey to take, do you guys have such kind of...
So that's the difference between college and an institute that is run by the parliament. So it comes
central.
Yes. So that's what something I would want that to change a bit. Like give opportunities to not only academics but overall development of a student. Let's say you got a very good platform to showcase your dance skills. You have incubators that promote entrepreneurship journeys. So that something can be improved in the CA curriculum. Like you said, you thought you were horrible at chemical engineering, but then when you went to the job, you turned out to be very well. Like if I see as a chartered accountant curriculum, it's very diverse. I've studied law in chartered accountancy, but it was not my specialization. I've studied audit, I've studied taxation and other subjects. But when I go out in the real world, out of the 100% knowledge that I've gained, I use 5 to 10%. So maybe, again, to repeat, structure your curriculum in a way that can be actually used in the practical world as well.
Holistic development.
Yes.
That's what I think. Independent thinkers, holistic development, absolutely essential.
And I think it's not only professional courses that should stem from your childhood. Like as a 16-year-old kid, how do I pick between science, arts or commerce? Like I have very limited information. What I
you
do
don't try it out,
Yes.
you would never know.
Yes.
So I think that's why Indian systems work that way, where you go through this plethora of subjects together, and then you know that history. I don't want to know it.
But then that depends on the teacher also.
True, very true, very true. If your teacher sucks,
Also in the US,
don't like it.
by contrast, in your undergrad, you can change your major 2 years into your degree.
Yes.
Right? That is something unheard of in India.
Oh, in India you can only
Yeah.
if you are the top 1% of the top 1%.
And that too also in your first year's
First year.
first
Yeah,
year.
it's
Yeah.
Once
crazy.
This is changing specializations within engineering.
Yeah,
True,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about if you wanted
Fully
to change
major
from
change.
yeah, if you wanted to like go from
Engineering
probably
to
pursuing
psychology.
yeah,
So
something
for-
of that
yeah,
sort.
For chartered accountancy, I can say you can do chartered accountancy even if you are graduated in science or arts, but you
For
need to have the
engin-
balls for it.
Yeah.
For engineers, we can say that we first do engineering and then figure out what to do. So we can change our field 4 years later. Also.
Look at me.
So we all win.
Look at you. I never did chemical engineering out of my college. Never. Like, and I was technically on paper good. I was ranked 2 in my department. So, yeah, but right out of college, I got into managerial roles and then into startup roles. And now I'm starting my own company, sorry. So, never did chemical engineering. And looking back, even I feel that way that could I have changed my major and did something which was more meaningful and more connected to what I want to pursue.
Yeah.
I think it's important to discuss this fact that a right push in the right direction is important.
Yeah.
For IITians, you're constantly hearing praises. Professors bring you down sometimes, but you're constantly hearing praises from your circles, friends, families who are not from IIT, and constantly you're getting that ego boost and encouragement to do better things in life. It propels you.
Yeah.
If you are constantly hearing something which is not positive, you are hearing that, oh, you're not an IIT, you can't do it. You sucked at this, you sucked at that, you are bad at this, you're bad at that. You will ensure that you are bad at it. Neuroplasticity works like that.
Yes.
Xylopia is trying to solve that problem where we want people to be encouraged. We want that nice community to be there for each other. And that, no matter which background you come from, encouragement is something.
Absolutely.
That cycle is something that everybody deserves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.